Back again, back again, back again. Welcome, family. We just had another stream right now, and we're just picking up the pieces from where we left off. Some of you might have joined us, and welcome. And let's continue having the conversation. Part of what we needed to talk about tonight was we were talking about the late President Magufuli, his legacy and his work that he left behind, and the inspiration that we are drawing from his leadership as somebody who loved the continent and who loved the people of this beautiful continent. So if you want us to continue talking about that, please feel free, join us. I've already shared the link. Please join us, please join us, please join us. And then another topic that we wanted to have was the diaspora talk. I think that was regarding the people that live outside the continent, or even not living, or living inside the continent, maybe living in different countries. Maybe you're born in Tanzania, but you're living in Ethiopia or Nigeria, wherever, or Egypt. How's life in those places? And if you are from Africa and currently you are living somewhere like in the US, UK, France, or China, South Korea, how's life that side? And what are the challenges, what are the struggles that you guys are experiencing in those nations? And yeah, you can come and join us and we can talk about those things and just talk about anything. The lines will be open. Okay, the lines are open. And join us, be with us, and let's have some chat. And probably maybe won't take long because we already had a long stream for over 4 hours. So please, family, go through those streams, go watch them, and go and if you missed it, go and watch those streams. Go and watch some of the videos that His Excellency Meek has been uploading in Ethiopia. And please, and do not forget to subscribe, and do not forget to click on that like button, and let's keep the movement growing. And as you can see, I don't think at the moment there's any YouTuber that is uploading a lot of content like His Excellency Mika. I don't think there's any African YouTuber. You can name them. I don't think there's any African YouTuber that is uploading so much content daily like His Excellency Mika. So you can see the hard work. Please support us. Please subscribe, become the patron member, or even the YouTube, join the YouTube membership, and support the platform, please, family. So just gonna do this. So family, please like, subscribe, and let's keep growing together. Let's see, we already have Miret Zaracion, and Regmon Music. Peace and blessings. Yeah, family, join us. And I hope Tanzan will come back and we can continue this conversation. I forgot to send you the link, Tanzan. If you're hearing me, please let's continue the chat for a few minutes. I know you're going to do your coffee. Yeah, come back and join us. I've already shared the screen, the stream link. If somebody wants to come and join us, let's talk about anything that is on your mind, or just the conversation we are having as well. You can just join us, and then let's chat, let's talk. Let's chat, let's talk. Let's chat, let's talk. What is this now? So family, welcome. Wow, and there's been videos that have been uploaded. Which ones have been your favorite of recent? And what are the other things that you love us to cover, or His Excellency Miga to maybe showcase there in Ethiopia? Uh, things of interest, things that are a must if you visit Ethiopia. Please let us know, uh, um, and let's grow together. Let us know, and your input will be highly appreciated, because that also helps us to even connect and even improve our quality, to improve um, the content that we offer the family. So please join us, give us feedback, give us any inputs, things to improve on, things that you think we are maybe not covering on the streams or even on the uploads. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this. Oh yeah, just gonna share the stream. I'm just gonna share the stream right now, right now, right now. Tenzin.
Yes, that was not even enough time to brew a cup.
You just pause and go. When it's hot and brewing, you can quickly just say, "Hey guys, let me just get my coffee. Let me get my coffee."
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because we went live while there was like sort of two streams already. When His Excellency just switched off the other one was just starting as well.
Oh, it went on immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Remember,
I thought because the last time you did that, you had like 20 minutes in between shows. So I thought I had some time.
no, even the time, because we really took most of our time. The stream that we were supposed to have, we literally took over an hour out of the stream.
Oh, okay, okay. All right,
So,
no problem.
yeah, I think we will, if he had ended the stream immediately, we will have had a 10 minutes and then join this stream that we currently are on.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So let me immediately start with the diaspora wars.
What's happening there?
Well, the first issue I think is that when we're talking about the mission and going out, the one thing I always speak about, and that this is one of the few leaders that actually sent their people out with a purpose. You're not supposed to, like let's say you're here, when the child gets 18, you just go out of the house and you find your life and you make your living. But even then, you have prepared, you have given them everything, they need to go out and succeed. So I think for us, when people leave, they just told go and make money and find a better life, which you can do. The opportunities are unfortunately are more out here than there. But you're not told do something you're told for your family, but it's not a directive for your people, and that's why we have to have loftier goals. For us, somebody might just think, oh well, I just need to feed myself for the day. Somebody might think I need to feed myself and my family. Somebody might think I have family and nieces and nephews and so on. So everybody has their circle of responsibility, or circle of people they feel they owe something to, let's say, or they can help. But the problem is sometimes we keep those circles too narrow, beyond the immediate people, beyond your small group. You don't see the bigger picture. So I think that we're not given that bigger picture. Like when you go out into the world, it's not just you and your family, it's you and you're representing your whole people, to the rest of the world, and you have a responsibility to your people back home. So it's not just about going and making a living and being comfortable. This is, I think, that's one of the mentalities that people live with. Like even if people who are growing there, they just see the West as a place to, oh, it's nice and pretty and I want to go there and live, not I want to go there and bring something back and make my country better. So even that mentality that you're living with also determines what you will do for your people. If you're just living to be comfortable, then you're never really going to come back. Your circle is still going to be limited. So I think this is what our the pioneers, I call them the pioneers, they built the country. They went out and they came back, and they came back with a mission, with a vision, and with a plan. You can also have a vision but you don't have a plan. It's too general and ambiguous. So I think that's the first thing that our countries are neglecting to do. When they send people out, they don't send them out with any allegiance back to your country. You're almost like, oh, I'm out of jail, I'm free. This is how a lot of Africans yeah, they just want somewhere where now they can be picking where dollars grow on trees. You just pick them. But so for me, the first issue is, when you send your people out there, same thing, everything is, from the bottom to the top. When you send your children, even when you send your children to school, you have to send them with a certain mentality. You can't just, tell them just go and no, because sometimes they also come back and they ask you questions. We were taught this and this at school and so on. So you also have to continue with the work that that they're doing in school, not just leave entire work to just one person. Once like you said, everybody has a role, but sometimes you have to extend your role a bit. If you're a teacher, you just can't be a teacher. You can also be an accountant, or you can learn a little bit of farming and so on. So let's not limit ourselves just by our experiences or our situations and all that. We have to look beyond. I'll pause there a bit.
And another question that I've been meaning to ask, a lot of people that leave the continent either for school or work or whatever, they're chasing to go to other nations is if the way you said it about not having that, which is like everyone is like leaving to say, oh, I left jail, I've left that prison, I'm now a free person, I'm here for a good time, I'm here to make money and stuff. But like in terms of the challenges as diaspora people, when you land in a nation, like can you just maybe just highlight them for us, Tenzin? Because there's a difference between visiting a country and living in a country. So I want somebody who like, for yourself, that you are in America, and you are living there. It's not something where like some of us maybe might visit and just come back home and stuff. So how is life living there, and how are you guys surviving? How do you survive and all that stuff? And what are these diaspora people doing there? Are they picking up papers? Are they...
One question turned into a pamphlet.
Are they working? Oh, what's happening? Are they really doing something, or are they scared to come home because of the shame of failure? Or what's happening there in the diaspora? Please tell us all the stories today. Give us the stories. Others are faking it or what?
Okay, well, let me start from your original question, if I remember. The first one was, the initial. So I'll try in stages. So I already said, when you're there and you want to come here. When you come here, the difference between visiting, and I wish I could have visited first before I just came smack into it. So that's a whole, when you visit, you're sort of like, oh, looking around and it's wondrous and great and all of that stuff. And, but when you're living there, it doesn't seem so glamorous because you just see it every day. So that was the first thing. The second, I would say the very first thing is landing. Okay, maybe for you guys in South Africa is different. But, you know, for me, the first thing on landing at LAX and just seeing a sea of white faces, oh, wow, that just shocked me completely, because I had never seen so many of them in one place. You know, in Kenya, you go some places, there are one or two, but just all at once. And then, you know, you have to go through, you know, all this, somebody's talking to you, somebody's talking to you. So that was quite a hectic experience. But once you settle in, the first, I think, you don't really get the difference at all. I think for your first couple of years, it's actually very nice, because you're seeing new things, you're learning new things. Especially when I first came, you know, the things that were normal, just, you know, like fast food places or laundromats, or, you know, just things like that was just amazing for me. So the first 2-3 years, you're just filled with awe. And dealing with people, when I first came, it was very congenial. People were very nice and friendly. You know, people talk to you, and they want to know, you know, where you're from. They usually tell you the only 3 things they know about your country, which is the running, the animals, and what was the other thing? Yeah, and there's also, what I realized was this: there was also a lot of ignorance. Just a lot of people didn't know anything about, you know, Africa, except, you know, for the poor stuff. But people really didn't know much. Nowadays, you know, it's say, oh, Africa is a continent and all. But even the people who know it's a continent, they really don't know which areas it is. They just know it's a big continent full of countries, and they don't know a single thing about any of the countries. So there's still a lot of, when it's they used to call us the dark continent. It's still very dark, because, you know, people outside don't really know about it, and they just assume. So the first thing, sometimes they just ask such ridiculous questions that if you just lie to them, they'll take it as the truth. You will tell them you are riding giraffes, you know, from your home to your neighbors, and they'll just believe it. So sometimes it was just fun, you know, making jokes. But so that was the interesting thing. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Ask me again. Put it in small bites. So I can choose.
You've answered the other one, where the other questions in terms of the life, visiting versus living, and as you say that also the culture shock. I think there will always be culture shock, as you say, that obviously coming from a predominantly or majority black faces to now, like, wow, I've never seen so much white people in my life. There's I guess culture shocks depending on where you come from, as you say. Yeah, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, what are the driving factors? What really drives a lot of people there? Is it jobs? Is it school? Is it just to run away from Africa? They don't care whether whatever, as long as they are out of Africa. What are the biggest drivers? Or you can even speak for yourself and say, okay, for myself, it was maybe what I wanted to do is not in the continent at the moment, or the market is too small, I had to go there, or, you know, what are the driving factors for people to like leave our continent? What do you think are the driving factors? I think we know some of them, but maybe there could be some other things that are not really talked about that makes people leave this beautiful continent.
I'll say the main thing is, well, Mika was saying earlier, because everything is tied into everything else. Before they needed work, physical labor, so they came and took out the physical labor, you know, forcefully. Nowadays they need, you know, the brain power, so they offer, at least with the brains, you don't have to put somebody in shackles. But so nowadays we are voluntarily leaving, and we're taking away our skills. What we could have done there, we're taking it over here. The reason I think why people leave is that some people might, let's say you're a doctor in Nigeria, you're not going to be able to make as much money over there that you can make outside. So part of it is, you know, yes, it is selfishness, because you're saying that you're going to take your skills and take it somewhere else, and, you know, to people and who don't need it as much as the people that you're leaving behind, and that's one aspect of it. the fleeing, yeah, it could, that's the economic fleeing, not literally, you know, running away out of fear. It's more running away towards running towards something rather than running away from something. So you're running away towards something, you know, that looks easier. The other thing is, in some countries, you can't, you don't see the social climbing of the ladder. It's very different. If you're born in one station, that's usually how you will, unless you have like exceptional education. But even sometimes you'll see people in Africa who are very educated, but you know, the opportunities are just not there. So mostly I would say it's for economic opportunities, and that includes the people who come as students. There are a few people who come as missionaries, but most people that we interacted with were usually students. A lot of, you know, older people, usually college age or late high school, around that age. So most people, they usually come older than, you know, than most migrants somewhere. So they already have experience in their countries, and they come to other countries. What I would say is this, that the best experience, the best boon of coming out here was meeting fellow Africans. When I lived back in Africa, you see, us in Africa, nowadays it's changing, obviously. But back then, people didn't see the need to travel even within Africa. You know, we would say, what do they have in another country that we don't have in ours, you know? So people didn't really travel, and we didn't really meet each other a lot. But when I came out here, you know, when you in our countries, you're all in this little bubble. But when you come out here, you're all in one group. People just see, not only are you in one group with Africans, you're in one group with Black Americans, with Jamaicans, with Caribbeans, with these people that you never ever thought, you know, you had, you know, anything in common with. But, you know, we were all together. When we were going to school, we would all, you know, all the Blacks, the Jamaicans, Caribbeans, everybody would just come together. And even though there was a lot of differences, you know, we found that there's so many things that we share in common that we're like, it's like meeting long lost family members. So, you know, I was able to meet, you know, this was the first time actually I met Ethiopians, I met Eritreans, I met, you know, Nigerians, I met Uganda. Like, I wouldn't have met them if I wouldn't have met them if I was still back in Africa. So the one thing that it was a very big boon was seeing how big, you know, my family was. Let me say that. Yes.
Wow. I guess the cultural diversity and that you as you say, it's a good experience, as you say. And I guess like a lot of people now obviously are moving around the continent. I think even some YouTubers it helped them, it helped their channels, it has helped them to promote the African continent. It has made more people want to travel. Since we are having a lot of YouTubers that are traveling around the continent and showcasing other beautiful places to say, hey, there's this place that you can visit, there's this place you can visit. So I think that the narrative is slowly changing, as you said, about we used to just think, hey man, why will I visit such X country because they have what we have here? So they are Black, we are Black, so why go to a Black country?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And you know, even within the country itself, I'm seeing a lot of domestic tourism. You know, I'm seeing a lot of people. There's this one channel, there's this lady who is going to the rural places, and it was a tour bus, and they were going to these local villages who are still practicing their cultures and so on. And what made me so happy, because sometimes when you see those buses, they're usually like, you know, these foreigners, and they have this look on their faces that they're either doing some charity work or they're doing some, you know, thing. You know how they are, and they're looking at people in a very looking down manner. So they go, they take certain pictures in a certain way. You know what I'm talking about. So when I saw a group of, you know, actual African Black people going to actual African village, and, you know, before the tour guide would tell them, you know, these people, this is how they live, this is their traditions, this is the so and so, you know, this is how you greet in their language, you know, this is how you show respect, please don't do this and this, you can take pictures and so on. And, you know, that was really wonderful to see that we are actually now curious about each other. You see, before our focus was only, you know, on what those people are doing. Oh, how do they do this and this and that? But more and more we are starting to look at ourselves and say, oh, well, how are we, you know, as Africans, how did we used to do this? Or how does this other group do this? And so on. So yeah, I see things, you know, changing, and I see us becoming, you know, one people. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's that even desire, that mentality that you want to know about your fellow brothers and sisters instead of just regarding them as strange or out there. So that was a good thing. The negative aspect of it was seeing, you know, racism, the whole aspect of that, something to me which I'd never, you know, considered even for a moment, you know, that my race was of, you know, that it mattered so much to somebody that somebody was willing to put so much energy in putting people down. So, you know, sometimes I think that in Africa, we really do take our blackness for granted because we're not really confronted with it on a daily basis. There was two things that, you know, were used. The first one, you know, about the divide and conquer, but the one that they used in colonial system was indirect rule. Indirect rule was very, very deep and unsettling because you don't even know who is out there that, you know, you're dealing with. You're inside and you're fighting each other, but you can't pinpoint where it's coming from. You know, in coming here, it's very easy. You can, you know, put your head in the sand for a bit, but it's very clear when you see certain patterns developing every time something happens. Is some, you know, people of a particular color and so on. And even when you look around the world, everywhere that people who look like you, they're always down. So, you know, being outside really drove home the point of it's not just we're fighting against ourselves. We also have, you know, other things that we may not see it, but, you know, it's actually, you know, pressing slowly down upon us.
I think the issue of sometimes racism or discrimination and stuff, for me coming from maybe a country that has experienced that, that's why sometimes the Black experience is a bit different when like sometimes that's why when you look at sometimes in the continent where some people might not understand how maybe people from South Africa will react to certain things, how they do something, because of their experience might be a bit different from theirs, because maybe they were so used to just being them all over the place.
Yes.
And it's just tribe only. But if you've lived in a system where it has taught you to know the difference, that hey, I'm different from you, and I'm higher than you, or even tribally to say my tribe is stronger than you and stuff. It also filters so much, and to break such chains, it takes years, because what you said about indirect rule, it has to do with systems. The systems that are most of us in Africa, what we don't realize was the systems were created, even though when they said you receive independence, but then you receive independence inside a system that was not built by you per se, and you have to make it work for your people. But then that system is created by somebody who's in maybe Europe and still controls you indirectly without you having to. You think you have the independence and everything, but the systems that you are under, it's not created for you, or it was not created for your people, but you are using it so that you can try to make sure that your people get whatever that needs to be done for them. But you find that you are struggling so much of finding ways to make it work for you. It's such a hassle, because this thing it's a system that has been created for hundreds of years, and it's been used so much in such a way that it's not easy to break out of those shackles, you know. So hence when some Black people, who come from, let's say, maybe only Black countries where they didn't really counter it in their own countries, when they go to such countries, now it's a culture shock. But for me, if I had to go to maybe Europe or America, live in those places, sometimes when I see, for me, maybe it'll be easy to even pick up racism quicker than maybe another African who comes from a country where they didn't have to really go through, or their history is not as recent as some of us who live with such people sometimes, and who can pick up certain tendencies, even tribalism from even our Black people. I can easily pick it up when somebody has tendencies about, because sometimes we also do not talk about us as Black people, the system that have molded us to even see our differences so much than what makes us common as African people,
Yeah, and this is what I realized, how not trivial, but okay, I'll just use that word for now until I find a placer. But how trivial our differences are. You can spend time arguing and arguing and arguing, and then you go outside, and then people just look at you as all the same. You don't have time to explain to somebody, well, actually. And let me just say this, and I'm not stepping on any toes, because I know that they made up after a while, but in the beginning, when we first came, right, so we would see an Ethiopian person, and we were so happy. Oh, hi. And then we talk, and then you ask them, oh, are you from Ethiopia? And they say, no, I'm Eritrean. And they're so angry about it. And for us,
you see those differences where we jump to make sure that people need to know where we're from. I'm not of those people, because I think sometimes it's like I think that also goes to some even other Black people who might be made from the Caribbean islands, who might say, when you say, hey, you look more Senegalese, I'm like,
I'm not African.
I'm from Jamaica, Like I know people get emotional sometimes with those things.
Yeah, so we do that to ourselves too. You get defensive and so on, which I understand. Everybody wants to to have their identity and so on, but look at it from somebody else's point of view. They can only see you and they don't know. So that's why talking and speaking and all that is important. If somebody is wrong about you, it may be because they just don't know. So that was a big thing. After a while, you just didn't ask, and you wait for them to sort of give you a hint, and so you leave it at that. But slowly, everybody just came together, and in time, you start with the differences, and you say, oh, you guys are this and that, and so all this usual, accusations. I know there was a time when Kenya and Nigeria really got into a Twitter war. Oh, that one was an exciting one. It was back and forth, and we won, because as Kenyans, hey, we have insults just stored away in safes. We're just waiting to. Are you sure?
You want me to call to Niger for you, eh?
Yeah, so that's how we first interact. And hey, you remember when you were kids? I don't know, but you're kids, and then you go visit your cousins, and then the first hour you're just looking at each other. You're over here, you're looking at them over there, like who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? And then at the end of it, like before your parents just leave 30 minutes, now you're playing together, you're having fun, you're doing all these things, and then your parents come and tell you it's time to go. No, it's not time to go. You wasted the whole hour doing nothing. And now when the fun starts, now you have to go. So, that's what we did. We came, people share all this stuff. And then at the end of it, it's like, yeah, when you start looking at the similarities, the differences are interesting, because we wouldn't be just, one person, one thinking, one mind. What makes us a unique people is that everybody has different things to bring to the table. So I don't expect somebody to think and feel and do exactly as I do, but when you look at the core beliefs, fundamental principles, we share so much similarities and so many things. When we sat together with the Jamaicans, it was just a laugh session. Those people are hilarious. They will talk you to death. But so that was the beauty of it. Sometimes you have to be taken out of your comfort zone, to find other places that you might be comfortable with. So that to me was really what brought it. And maybe that's the reason why, this whole the whole unity had to come from outside. It came mostly from the Caribbean. I think it was Trinidad and Tobago, because I think they felt isolated from the rest of the Black people. In Africa, if you want to see a Black person, you just have to go out of the house. It's easy. But in some places, they're isolated. They're surrounded by the sea and all these Spanish-speaking countries and so on. So for them, connecting with other Black people is important to them, and they do feel a sense of community. The Jamaicans, what they first actually. Not the first. I know that Liberians also came back, but the Jamaicans really had a sentimental attachment to Ethiopia. They felt that was, their land, and so many other reasons. But you see this return, this sentiment of wanting to return back to Africa. You find it in so many different. It's not just us who left. It's the people who left even before, people who've never even stepped on the continent, but they feel that calling, that need to go back. It's been it's been generations and generations. They don't even know who was the first person who stepped on the continent that they are in right now, but they still want to go back. So that just tells you how powerful it is to be from the continent. Even if you leave it, you still want to go back. Okay, I'll take a pause.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, looking at the numbers in terms of Africans that are living there, I know that obviously the big countries in terms of population in the continent, like Nigeria, obviously Ethiopia, Egypt, those are like big countries when we talk about population size. Hence, you tend to find them everywhere and stuff. I'm sure that's why, as you said, like when you're there, some people had to correct you quickly, So, yeah. In terms of Kenyans, are you having big communities that side, or is it you guys are just spread all over the country and stuff, especially in the US? Now, speaking in the US, since you are that side.
Spread out, but there are concentrations. There are, Kenyans everywhere, pretty much, I think, in every state. But there are some places where there's a concentration of them, like there's a lot of them. I know in Houston, there's a big population. Mississippi, there is a Kenyan community, in Los Angeles. So there are in all most of the major cities, there's a community of Kenyans there. It's more of a community rather than like they have the Chinatowns, they have the areas which are controlled by a certain population. It's not like that. It's just like a whole, there's a great number of them, but they're not really controlling the place, and they're not really opening up as many businesses as they would, as, for example, the Ethiopians have done. What surprises me a lot is that Nigerians especially have not really had a Nigeria town. They are really they are the most successful, the wealthiest, most educated, of the African immigrants. And there's a greater number of them out here, but I haven't really seen a great number of them. They do have businesses and, and offices and all that stuff, but I haven't seen them in one place where you can go and say, this is Nigeria town and so on. Small pockets in New York, but so African communities out here tend to be in, concentrated areas, but they don't really control the areas. Yeah, so they're concentrated, but they don't control. The only exception to that, like I said, was Ethiopia, which they have actual streets in LA and Los Angeles where they have, businesses, or they own the place, and you can actually see traces of, the culture and so on. And the community comes together. For example, the West Africans, especially, they are very strong with cultural events. They have, galas, they have big weddings and things like that. So they are more for that. With the East African communities, mostly it's for sometimes fundraising or helping each other out when somebody, maybe has a tragedy in the family, or, they need some help in something. So there is that. And there's also, church communities. There's I think Kenyan churches or Nigerian churches, so that's also another form of community. So there are some people who try to get together and help each other out. Yeah.
No, that's also good to hear. I think with I think with the Ethiopian community, the Somali community, even the Eritrean communities, they have built a lot. I think they're also using almost the Jewish model as well, or the Arabic model as well, or more the Asian models of, like, if we get into a place, we tend to once my uncle comes or cousin comes, we try to stay as close to each other than further from each other.
Yes.
Unlike other communities in Africa, where even if you guys, like when you said Nigeria having the highest number in terms of also educated people, I think they're having, I think in Nigeria, maybe another thing is you have, they're divided between the professionals who are working for corporates, who are working for institutions and stuff, and those who run business. So, and even those who run business, everyone is just doing their own thing or in their own small sections. Unlike if they had to say, everyone who's from this community, whether whatever tribe, when we get here, you need to build. I'm buying apartment here, you need to buy the next apartment next to my apartment. Unlike this other communities where they live more into that setup where cousin needs to stay closer, family, friends. We're all sitting close to each other. We don't spread across maybe a city, so that when you want to help each other, it's just going next door instead of you having to drive miles away. And I think even here in the country, even here in South Africa, same thing. I see how they do things. And this thing, when I say even some of the Asian communities, their model, you look at the Pakistanis, they also do the same model. They leave, even business, they share businesses together and stuff. I see that with them. I see that with the Somalis, the Ethiopians, the Bangladeshis, the guys from Bangladesh, even the Chinese as well. They also live close to one another. When they're doing business, it's like if you own a workshop here, next door is another cousin or whoever. They, unlike some of the other communities where if you're making bread in in LA, you find that your cousin says, no, I won't live with her. I'm going to San Francisco or something.
And also, let me say this too. When people first come out, because I don't want to be all just looking like it's all bad, but when people first come out, especially Africans, they help each other a lot. Like, I know people who have people staying with them. I know people who have when you can't afford a meal, there's a place to eat and so on. So people really help each other when they first come out. And or is that me? And I know, for example, like the Cameroonians, they had a system where when somebody new comes out, they find somebody a job, a place to live, they help you out in the beginning and so on. So, that at least is a good thing. When somebody comes out, there's usually a place where somebody will fit you in and so on and show you how to go around. I think the going apart comes when people succeed, when people get their things together, when they finish school or they start working and they do all these things. And sometimes it's just circumstances of life. Some people go work over here and so on and so forth, so people do split apart. So unfortunately, it seems that we're usually more united in adversity than in success. So we have, when it's bad, we're together, but when things are going good, then everybody goes their way.
But again, Tenzin, why some of the communities, regardless of, yes, there's that success part and what, but they still keeping it more, when you see them succeed, they're now succeeding, either they now run a block, area block where it's their business only. Once you walk into that section of you find that you can really see now, I'm in Chinatown, there's just a lot of Asian people here. And why some of our communities, the black on the continent, they're not doing that. I mean, okay, we see mostly with the Ethiopians, the Somalis, the Eritreans, who are doing more of that model. Even if when they're succeeding, yes, they can move around, but you still see them more. Even if they move, they still try to gather themselves more together than other communities.
I think you said it the best when you spoke about the mentality, because you can have individual success, and also they also united with they have the same culture, and also the religion brings them together, and but mostly is that mentality. Okay, let me ask you a quick question. Would you rather be a doctor earning 300,000 a year, or a shopkeeper, business person making 3 million a year?
I always will go for the big figure. But in every community, not everyone is an entrepreneur or a business minded. Other people, it's a calling. They might say, "I'll be a doctor." Yes, I'm getting $200,000 US dollars.
No. Don't make it more complicated. Yes, I know.
Okay, yeah. In general, I'll go for the high number. Yeah.
But the when I ask some people this, for them, they always go with the doctor and say, and that's not saying that being a doctor is better than being a business or whatever the case. This was just about the numbers, and you got it correct the first time. It's just the numbers, because I was telling somebody, yes, being a doctor, you're helping a lot of people. But if you have $3 million, guess what? You can have 10 doctors. You can hire 10 doctors. You can send 10 doctors to school. You can make more, even though because I know that the doctor is not just that you're doing good, you also have the respect and the honor and the lab coat and everybody, you have that. So for us, especially for us in Kenya, you're like, you look at all that. And then, because you see some people here, somebody might have a lot of money, and they're just dressed like that, like the Indians here. They're not flashy. They're not, doing all these things. You don't know how much money they're taking in. But some people, they don't have a lot, but they're showing it all out. Whatever they have, they're wearing it. So it's just about the mentality that, yes, sometimes it is good to be one thing, but for them, I think they look at it in a bigger way, that I may not be the big one, the big person out there, but through what I'm doing, I can support more people than than I can support myself. So yes, I think there's somebody in here. We should give him or her a chance to speak.
Yeah, that's Dr. K for you.
Oh, Dr. hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, shalom.
Shalom.
Habari.
Nzuri sana.
Okay. Oh, you know some Swahili?
Some, please.
But the other one, Tanzan is like, maybe you can trick me, but Tanzan is on another level.
Oh, okay. Are you from a Swahili country, Tanzan?
Yes, Kenya.
I mean, country, man.
Our version of, let me just say that, our version of Kiswahili.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your accent sounds more like, I don't know, South Africa,
Oh, at one time I would have been furious at you.
No. I'm kidding.
You'd be fighting me and saying, no.
I would be fighting you and say, how dare you call me South African? I've never even been below the equator.
Oh, yeah. Actually, South African accent is more like, I'm from South Africa. Is that more accurate?
You said what?
I'm from South Africa.
Oh, yes. They do say that. Serafina, Mbek I can't say. Pastor Ezra, say something so I can make fun of you.
Regarding what? I couldn't hear Dr. K there. You were saying what, Dr. K?
Oh, no, I was trying to do a South African accent.
And there isn't really a single South African accent. There are those common ones, but there's also different accents depending on where you're from. There's the more urban type of slangs and dialects, and then there's also the political. There's guys who are in politics. They talk, they have their own way of talking.
Hey, but I've seen South African politics. It's crazy. It looks like you guys are always fighting every time.
Man. Yeah, that's SA for you. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has to say something, and everyone thinks they've got something to offer. So what can you say?
Yeah, I think only Uganda. I've seen only Uganda politics like that. like the South African one in the parliament.
Really, Ugandans? I thought
Yeah,
they were very quiet
no,
people.
Ugandans. Actually, I've seen one where they fight each other, they throw chairs, they punch. Yeah, like a real fight breaking out. Yeah.
In SA, we've never really had like a physical fight. There's just been politicians that have been kicked out, like your Julius Malema when they were chanting and doing other things. But physically, amongst politicians beating one another, it has never led to that.
Oh, okay.
It has always been verbal. They say let's fight on ideology. There's no need to lay hands on each other. They say, you know, there's this analogy that they also use that when a man has run out of ideas, he's the one who say, "I'll beat you." They say even they used to make a joke, you know, with old people. You're right. Let's say your parents, African parents now. African joke. They say when African parents cannot discipline you verbally, the only thing they'll tell you now, they'll tell you, I'm older than you, I'm your senior. They say now you are dealing with an African parent or African man who can engage you on like, really, let's reason now, let's argue on facts and other things. They'll now start promising you, I'll slap you, I'm older than you, you are younger than me, who are you?
And the best one, the classic, you think I'm your age mate.
Yeah,
that's it. Unafikiria tunatoshana.
Hiyo. Yeah, they're all the same. You know, we emphasize our differences, and then we come to find out that, I guess we're not so unique, different after all. But yeah, we're not, we go through the same thing. Me, I didn't get all that, you know, physical stuff. For me, just the talking to was enough. I was done. If I see an angry face, I know it's time to, I did something wrong and it's time to go the other way. So I wasn't so much of the beating stuff. Some kids though, you know, some kids are really naughty. Like you just see them and you see that they're about to do something and they know they will get in trouble. You know, this is the thing. They know they will get in trouble. Some things like, oh, they don't. Yeah, you just see them and they're just waiting for their parents to come back so that they can get beaten. I didn't understand that. But anyway. Yeah, so back to the topic. Dr. K?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good.
Dr. K,
Yeah.
As somebody who's also studied abroad, lived abroad, Tenzin has been sharing more about her American experience and what so far what she has encountered, what she has been learning, living in America. California to be specific, and you, I think you were in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And how was your experience living abroad? Were you also eating noodles? Somebody was making fun of people who are overseas, like, don't desire to be those people. They're eating noodles every day and cornflakes. That's what they eat every day.
Actually, I used to eat noodles. In fact, I used to eat them so much I learned how to make them the right way. You know, the stir-fry them with the onions and the soy sauce and the what do you call it? The sesame oil. It's you have to learn, you adapt. Yeah, the experience is interesting, you know. Obviously, there's a lot of opportunities when you leave anywhere you are because you're exposed to different things in the world, different systems, different ways of thinking. So that's always a benefit when you've explored a bit. There's also some other challenges as well that come with traveling abroad, especially in a country like the UK, which works like a clock. The thing with these countries is, you know, rent, okay, so in Africa, you can realistically, let's say in Nairobi, you can live in an okay estate for $150 a month for a bed sitter or a one-bedroom house. So $150 a month is enough to get you a decent place in Nairobi. Now in the UK, for the same thing, just a bed sitter or a studio apartment, let's say in London, you're not paying less than 1,000 $100. That's just for a bed sitter. For 1-bedroom house, it's like $1,300. And then, let's say, okay, you get paid a bit more. You get paid full months, maybe $3,000. The food, when you account for it, you account for the travel as well. You account for any holidays or friends outings. You realize actually you're spending the same amount of money that you earn every month. So then this is now the challenge, is that people back home will always expect you to help out a lot, even though you haven't really figured out the system. And especially when you're a student or you're young and you don't have you haven't reached the peak of your employment. You haven't got to the level of skills or experience where people are giving you boatloads of money just to work. So I would say that is a challenge. And if anyone is planning to go abroad, something you have to consider. People back home will be expecting things because they see the facts. Oh, he's earning $3,000 a month, but once you take on all the costs, maybe you have $200 a month extra. And then that extra, that's what you use to help yourself for fun and also your family. So I would say there's loads of benefits and also there's challenges there.
And if I may ask, so okay, from my observation and from what I hear, friends and family and people in general, it seems like more in Europe, the rental is. It seems like it's the biggest. It takes most of people's income.
Yes.
Rental.
Yeah. That's if let's say if you could find a way to live cheaply in Europe, you can really save a lot of money because you do earn more. That's true. There's minimum wage laws and all those things. So realistically, if you could remove a big component of the rent, you could do okay. So let's say if you go to Europe, you'll be doing well if you could find a network of friends or families. Because you see, let's say in a house, renting a 1-bedroom house by yourself doesn't make sense. The best idea if you want to survive in Europe is you find some friends or family, you rent a room in that house. That's going to, allow you to save a lot more money because in Africa, what I've noticed is here, people live, it's interesting. They're more communal, but at the same time, they live more like kings at the same time. Both are true. So people would like to share and invite each other out for, meals in the house, but people also like their privacy. Here people live in their own homes. The concept of sharing with someone else who you don't know is a completely wild idea in Kenya. People just don't do it. Maybe you share with a friend, a really close friend or family, but in general, this idea of just sharing with someone who you don't know doesn't exist in Kenya from what I've seen. So, but in the West, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have to share with random strangers a house. Otherwise, you will not be able to save anything. The house rent cost is just too much. And you're going to be feeling a very, very, how do I say this? Yes, you will save some money, but the kind of experience you'll have if you're used to, let's say, only sharing with friends or family, you better find those guys. Otherwise, you have a culture shock. Just the loneliness of sharing with strangers. They don't want to talk to you. You might want to get to know them. Just all of that stuff. You will get a culture shock.
And one of the things that Tenzin talked about, in the States, I don't know much about Europe, where people I think she said something about after 18 you can literally move into your own space, start having your own life. How is it the same there in Europe, Dr. K?
Yeah, actually, after 16 you can do that in Europe, in most countries. Yeah.
Wow.
You most people usually just actually a lot of people here don't like to stay with their parents. So the moment usually it's 18 because that's when they go to university, and people usually go to university not because they just want to study a specific course, but sometimes some people go just so that they can stay away from their parents and they have the freedom to go and start their life renting by themselves. Where most people do leave by 18. And with Europe, of course, it's not quite like America. In America, if you go to university, it's a real debt which you have to pay back. In most European countries, it's a half debt, But if you haven't paid back by the age of 50, they just write it off.
Oh wow! No, for us, it's your debt for life. It's like your debt till death.
Right. That's why it's called debt. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
In some countries, they don't even have it. Like Germany is free education. So you just pay for exams or something. And this includes for foreigners also. So if you can really find a German school that teaches in English, before they change the rules, you can actually go study there. You just have to prove that you have enough money to sustain the rent and the food. But other than that, education.
People don't tell Kenyans that they'll be signing up at the German embassy tomorrow.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of European countries that are free. I think Norway used to be free. I'm not sure if it still is, but yeah, I've seen a lot of guys just go. Like I have a friend from Congo. He went to Czech Republic. He learned the language. He took 1 year. He even passed the hard exams in chemical engineering. He did the course. Then he married someone from there. Then he moved to the UK. He set up his company. I mean, some of these guys really work hard. But yeah, there's some opportunities in some of these countries. I'll stay away from East for some reasons, but the West is, there's opportunities. There's always good and bad things, but in general, education here is better than America. You know, let's say in the UK, if you haven't paid back your student loan by the time you're 50, let's just say after 30 years of when you start the degree, they just write it off. You no longer, and it doesn't affect your ability to buy houses. It's not seen as a real, debt.
I almost feel like you guys are being coddled too much.
Yeah,
that is not fair. In fact, the two things that you cannot hear, you can declare bankruptcy, like the previous guy did several times, and then they just wipe it out. But you cannot declare bankruptcy on two things: your medical bills and your student debt. And your student debt, not only are you in debt, but the interest rate is calculated compoundly. It's calculated by the minute. So every minute, the interest rate on your student is going up. So you might have started with maybe, let's say, 50,000. After maybe 10 years, it will be like 60 or 70. And if you don't pay it, it goes up. There's some people who are just paying interest on their loans, not even the principal. They'll never pay it back ever. And they can garnish your salary. They can, take money from your account. You can't run away from it, basically. But one thing I wanted to add when you're talking about, the cost of living, the one thing that the Western people out here, all these countries have done very successfully is to keep the money within the system. Nothing will go out, very little will go out, and everything that goes out will come back. Look at, let's look at France and, the countries in Africa that speak French. They still take all much of the money and resources to France, and France keeps all that stuff within. Same thing, with America, UK, and all of that. There's no excess money than you can even have in savings. Even that savings, they want you to spend it. It's not like in Japan where, they want you to keep all the money in the bank. In the Western countries, once you get your money, your next thing to figure out is how to get rid of it as soon as possible. And they will help you with that. So the circulation of the system, you keep it. And this also goes to when you're asking me, Pastor Ezra, about how some communities, manage to have this, I call it the business. You can have a social community, but you can also have a business community on top of that. And I think that's what Ethiopians, Eritreans, and Somalis have been able to do, that it's not just a community of people helping each other and doing nice things for each other, which is also good. They have built up a business community where, everybody helps and benefits, everybody else, and they keep the money within the community. That's the system to having a business community. The money circulates, you get paid to be a doctor, you take that money to a barber, that who's your friend or something. He takes, his money, but the building is owned by a fellow, somebody who's like you. So you're all renting and helping and working and sharing that money within each other. But if we're all individual, once you're successful, you move away and all your money just goes back right into the system. You're just a conduit, for the money to flow through. So I think that's the difference. I'll go take a break now. I was trying to make coffee, but I just had to jump in. But continue for a few minutes while I make and enjoy it.
Okay, no stress. And that's okay. But I'll come back to you, Tanzania, as well, where in terms of the education stuff and opportunities that are out there in terms of education. At least you kind of touch on other things like the UK. I think you said after 30 years or after the age of 50, normally they'll cancel your student loan, and it doesn't affect your credit. Wow, of which is that's something else. I mean, for for a lot of African countries, I mean, universities it's a mission for a lot of people who want to study further after high school, and it's either expensive for some people, while others it's yeah, it's they don't see the value in it. But Dr. K,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you're not hearing. Yeah. So, like, when you were there, like, you talked something about renting out, for example, living with a family or communal living, or living in a commune, versus maybe living alone. You said it's pointless living alone. Is it more expensive to live alone than having to just rent a room in someone's home or someone's apartment?
Yeah. So okay, let me use one town. I won't use London because it's the most expensive, and I won't use the cheapest one. I'll use something somewhere close to London, because you know if you're living in these countries like the UK, you need to live somewhere where A, there's Africans, and B, there's work. So the places that there's Africans and work tends to be near London. But London itself is a bit expensive. I wouldn't recommend anyone living there unless you have to. So let's say the town I used to live in is called Reading. Reading is a relatively large town. It's almost a city. Actually, it's technically a city, but they haven't acknowledged it because they don't have a cathedral. In the UK, for something to be a city, you need to have the Queen to kind of inaugurate it and say, okay, this is a city. It's got over this amount of people, 500,000 people, and then it also has a cathedral. So Reading may have gotten enough people and development, but they don't have a Queen inaugurated cathedral, so it's still technically a town. Anyways, so if you're going to live in a town like Reading, if you're renting a single bedroom in a house, you'll be paying realistically around £400 a month. This is like a mid-range house, not high, not low. £400 is like $600 a month. This is a room. The size, it's not that big and it's not that small. It's a medium-sized room. Now, if you were to rent that whole apartment yourself, like a one-bedroom house, you're going to be paying £1,000. Maybe let's say £900 a month. That's going to be around $1,300 or something like that a month. That's just a one-bedroom house. So, if you look at that, you just realize, it's much better to just rent a room rather than renting a whole one-bedroom house. You can also rent something, and you see with that room, you're going to be sharing the bathroom, the kitchen, and the living space, if you want the living space, with the other people that you're living with. It could be a family, or it could be other young people. So what you can do is, there's websites like spareroom.com where someone, like a group of people, will be renting a house together, either as friends or just random strangers. Everyone pays their small share, and then they divide up the costs. But yeah, as you can see immediately, you're saving almost half just by deciding to share that house rather than trying to live by yourself. Because in the UK, there's no such thing as bed sitters, right? At least I've not really seen them. Now, you can find areas where they exist, right? But it's not a big thing. In Kenya, everywhere there's bed sitters, specifically, housing specifically designed for young people or people who are trying to make it in life. In UK, it's very rare to find a bed sitter. You can't rely on trying to find one. So the next thing is a studio apartment. Studio apartment is quite expensive. Again, in a place like Reading, you're going to be paying something like, let's say £700 to £800 a month, which is like $1,100 a month. And this is realistically a studio apartment. Really is just a room, an extra room with your bathroom and toilet, and then an area within the same room where you cook. So it's just like a bed sitter, really. It's going to be expensive. So realistically, it just depends. Now, there's a third option. You get a room inside a house, but the room has its own bathroom and toilet. You see, this way you feel more comfortable. You You feel like you have more privacy. The only space you really share is just the kitchen. This one you can pay maybe 550 pounds a month, and you can get, you know, this is like 700 and something dollars a month. You can get this room. I would say this is the ideal, because you know, you feel like you're still, you know, most of the bathroom and toilet you have to yourself, and then the only thing you share is a kitchen. It's a nice compromise than just getting a full apartment.
Wow. I think in Africa we still have a lot of luxuries, because obviously the Europe, also another thing is the problem with space and land. Obviously, land being so expensive. Because when you look here in Africa, we are having it well. I mean, look at the amount of land that we still have, the price as well of getting land. Yes, in the urban areas it can be a bit expensive, but in general, when you just look at land, I think we still, it's still fair. And again, another thing that I also wanted to talk about or find out was the age thing, comparing with Africans. Being in Africa, an 18-year-old, okay, yes, there are those 18-year-olds who are going to university, college, whatever, who sometimes move away from home. But in general, as Africans, are we really spending a lot of time? Do we really grow in our parents' home for the longest time, and then you only leave when there's like an opportunity elsewhere, or there's a job or something that really will push you out? Or is it also part of the things that are delaying us as African youth, that we need to be starting to leave our homes early like other communities or other societies in the West? Do you think that that will really also help Africans to develop quick, instead of most Africans still living at home for the longest time and stuff?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. I think actually, you know, okay, so whenever someone is willing to move and travel to find the work, that person is going to have a much better career in life in general, because, you know, they're not looking at, okay, I need to live in London, I need to get a job in London. These people who do this, unfortunately, put themselves in a closed cage. For example, if you're going to live in New York City, Los Angeles, London, these are very expensive cities. So if you're having like a minimum wage job and you haven't really reached the peak of your career, you're going to be struggling. And I've met people in these cities, they literally live hand to mouth, barely paying rent. So the best thing is for us to have this mentality as Africans is go, as long as it's safe. That's the main thing. As long as it's safe, chase where the work is. For example, in the UK, you can actually live in places like Wales. I used to live in Wales for a short time. Wales, there you can actually rent your own house, like a 1-bedroom house, for, let's say, around 450, let's just say £500 a month. That's $700 a month. You can rent your own house in Wales. The jobs there, you can work in Amazon. Amazon pays relatively well. The job is hard, of course, but you can save. You see, if you're paying that £500 a month on rent, you're getting paid around 2,500 a month. You see, you can actually save. It's not an easy life, of course, working in Amazon and warehouses. I used to do the job, 12-hour shifts, but the opportunities are there, let's say, there to do something like that. You really grind for like 6 months. You've actually saved a good amount of money. And then you take that money, you start thinking, okay, I need to now think, how can I invest this money to make it kind of make money for me? Then, you know, there's just so many movements you can do, but it's a willing mindset to travel, explore, and basically follow the economics. This idea that you can stay in the town that you're born in and succeed the way you want, it's a dream, and, you know, I think it actually holds us back.
I agree.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. You know, even just staying in the city you're born, and it doesn't even have to be, you know, going somewhere outside the country and so on. We do that. You know, I know that people go from, you know, rural areas and they come to the city to look for work. You know, that's one way of of improving your status. You know, this is just done internationally, but people do that. And I think it's a natural thing for people to live. Sometimes people say, oh, why did you leave? But, you know, part of growing up is, you know, going out. You know, you can't, the reason why, back to Pastor Ezra's question, you know, the reason why for them, they feel it's important for children to live as soon as possible. In fact, 18 is, you know, the official age, but you can apply for early emancipation. I think a few child actors have done that. Macaulay Culkin famously divorced sort of his parents, and there are some people who have done that, just cut off links. The main reason why they say when you're 18, you're out of the house, it's for people here, they value more than anything independence, financial independence, you know, economic independence, and being able to stand alone. There are good things to that, because for one thing, you rely on yourself, you know, you live and die, you know, by your efforts. I'm not saying that, you know, people don't help you and so on, but for the most part, it's on your shoulders to do it. Now, when I say that they tell you to move out, it's not like they're chasing you out, like, oh, just go and figure it out. What they do is they have already given you the, okay, let me talk about the white people here. They give their children, you know, inheritance. They have, you know, a fund for them. They have their college, you know, money and so on. So they start saving for their children early in life, so that by the time they are that age, they feel that they know enough to survive out in the world, and the children are eager to prove it. They want to move away. In fact, people who go to college, they deliberately, here you can go to this college where in the city, it's no problem. But most people usually choose to go far away to a different state, you know, to go to school. So it's both, you know, them trying to prove themselves independent, and the parents also wanting, you know, for them to move away. So that's a good thing, because, you know, firstly, but it's not just chasing them out. You have to give them something, you know, to fall back on. It's not just kicking you out with a shirt on your back. You're being told to go out, but you're going to be told, but you have to make it on your own. You know, same thing with Bill Gates. He had, you know, he comes from a very wealthy background. It's not a rags to riches story. You know, even all these founders of these companies, most of them do come from a privileged background. Let me just say that. But you're not just told, oh, well, just sit on your wealth. You're told to go out and do something with it. So that's the challenge that is given to the children. Go out and do something with what we have given you. So it's double responsibility. The parents are supposed to give the children, you know, that foundation, and the children are supposed to, you know, go and further and become independent. The problem comes with too much, you know, too much of one thing is always a bad thing. The problem here is that independence is emphasized so much that that people don't really that sense of community or helping each other is sort of diminished. You see, like I said, for us, when somebody comes out, if they're, you know, facing some problems, people will come out and they'll contribute and so on and so forth. But here, it's very rare. Even if somebody has, you know, a tragedy, a death in the family, people don't necessarily, you know, contribute. They'll tell you some words and so on, but they won't really come and give as much as we know that, you know, African funerals are. So, you know, and sometimes also when people go out into the world, given everything that they have, and when they don't make it, they make failure here is punishable almost by death. Because if you're given everything and you go out and you fail, there's nobody, you know, that you can blame for it. And when people succeed here, they succeed a lot. If they fail dramatically. And you can see that when you see, you know, homeless people in the richest, you know, states in you know, in California. Like how are people in the streets? So that's what happens when you send out your children. You say, go and make something of what we have given you.
And I had asked, do you guys think it's also like, for example, I know the economic situations are between the people in the West and here, it's different, where you mentioned something about some people having an inheritance to give their kids, to say, here's a start, go and make it somewhere else, or like when compared to us, where you find that somebody still whatever age, but they're still living with their parents or they're still living at home. Is it something that you think we should be adapting as well? Maybe that also help us to be independent, and maybe that's where we can even develop faster than if we stick to this thing of family. We need to keep you here until I don't know when. I'm sure in every African home, you bound to have such where people stay long. It's like the umbilical cord with families. For one to leave, it's like not easy. Even sometimes, even if you had to say, "I want to leave," you find the parents say, "How? You build a big house. Where are you going?" I've got a big house for you here. You've got anything you want. Now you want to go and live in Mombasa for what? Nairobi is good for you. I wish my friend was here, Chezi, you know?
I know. He has been missing in action. I think he's scared of confrontation.
It's busy, but hopefully if I can have some time, maybe tomorrow or so, I'll ask him to join us, you know?
Yes, he would have added an interesting perspective.
Yeah. I love the way you put it and say the advocates, you know? When you start saying,
yes, indeed. So, you know, okay, I think that, yes, we should definitely, so to cap up on, you know, what Mika was saying earlier about, you know, being honest and brutally so. I think sometimes we really have to be strict, you know, not just the leaders, but everything that we say should be, you know, a microcosm and a macrocosm of everything. Like if we're expecting the same on a large scale, we should also practice on a small scale. That's what I believe. I don't think that is responsibility of one person or another. So when we talk about being strict with each other, sometimes, like I said, if something is taken too far, it becomes bad, whether it was good in the beginning, even if it was good in the beginning. And what is good about us, you know, we are hospitable people, we are empathetic people, we are people who we can't see somebody suffer and enjoy somebody suffering, you know. We can't see a brother, you know, in a difficult situation and just walk by. It's very hard for us to do. We can do it sometimes, but it's not in our nature. So sometimes some of our people, they do take advantage of that, you know, if they see that, oh, well, these people, even if I just, you know, stay here for a bit longer, you know, they won't chase me out. Or if I just come here and just, you know, do a little bit of this and that, they'll forgive me and they'll be nice and so on. And some people, they take that back to analogy, you know, the prodigal son. You shouldn't go out knowing that, you know, even if you're bad, yeah, people will welcome you back. But some people do take advantage of that. They say, oh, well, I can just go and be as bad. I'll do whatever I want because when I come back, people are just going to, you know, continue. Hey, is it past your bedtime?
Hey, man. I'm feeling it now. You know, it's
See, I told you needed some coffee. You needed some coffee. I went and got mine. And got mine.
I ran out of
okay, run and go get it. I'll try to keep it on. I don't know where Dr. K went. He seems to have gone off. So
Dr. K is you know, he's a
busy man. Yes,
a crypto man.
Mm-hmm.
He's still busy crypting something.
He's watching his money, his crypto money. Yeah. So, you know, what was I saying now? I was saying that some people do take advantage of other people's good nature. You know, some sons, they know that their mothers are not going to tell them anything, even if they sit around the house doing nothing. You know, some women know that they can drop their children at their mother's house and go and have fun. Some people just know that they can overstay their welcome and nobody is going to say anything. So, you know, sometimes people, even our own people, do take, you know, advantage of other people's kindnesses. And when people do that, I think it is time to sort of tighten things up a little bit and say, if you're going to do this, oh man, I wish Mondatezi was here, but there was this song that goes mgeni siku ya kwanza, mgeni siku ya pili. So it's like a Swahili song. It says mgeni is a visitor. The visitor, the first day the visitor is there, you serve them good food and all of that stuff. You prepare them for a place to sleep. The second day when the visitor is there, you give them, a nice place to sit and relax, all of that stuff. So you're good. The second day, the third day. By the time it's the fourth or the fifth day, mgeni fanya kazi, ni siku ya kazi. The kazi is work, like Magufuli was talking about. After a certain time of enjoying hospitality, you as a good guest should, start doing something, and you as a host should ask your guest to either contribute, help, or do something, but you can't be a guest forever. That's pretty much, the moral of that story. So as people, as a group, we also have to ask more of each other. If we have people that, are guests, let's say in our homes or in our places and so on, we have to also ask them to contribute. It's not always, physical contribution. Maybe somebody is not very financially off at the time, but somebody always has something that they can do. They can help out, with the children. They can help out, around the house. There's always something that somebody can make themselves useful and contribute. So by letting people, just slide and be who they want to be instead of being what is best for everybody, I think that's the part of the cord that we really should cut. Not that we should just let people be, but we have to ask and demand that they be more than, what they are. So basically, if you eat, you work. If you eat, you work. You can't eat for nothing. You have to do something, that's going to help other people. It doesn't have to be, if you can't do one thing, you can always find something else to do. So, yeah. Hey. Okay, I'm still here. I guess it's I'm carrying the show today again, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Like, being independent, that's individual responsibility, and so you ask the individual to be, independent, but you also ask them to be a part of the community. We have to learn to be able to, do both, as I say here, to chew gum and work at the same time. Don't limit yourself to, because I'm doing this, then, I can't do that. So that's why you need a balance. You need a balance of, that's why traveling and living, you actually physically, leaving the place of your comfort, of your birth, but you're going somewhere else where you're going to meet, other people, where you're going to expand your knowledge and information. So yeah, leaving home is not cutting off links. I think this is also something that we have to remember. Just because you're leaving doesn't mean that you're cutting or you're separating yourself. You're leaving to come back. You're not leaving to say goodbye. Yes. See, I held it until you came back.
I think you're gonna be my co-host now, hey? My co-host. You're now qualifying. I need to speak to His Excellency.
I was desperately hoping. Okay. Let me go on. Filibuster.
Yeah, I'm just boiling the water, and I'm so gonna soon just go get it.
And by the way, if you do need to, don't let us take too much of your time. If you need to rest and all that, all you have to say is that, and we'll let you get your rest, your tactical sleeping.
Yeah, I'm probably we're gonna just push this maybe another 30 minutes, and then we'll call it a shalom for tonight. I think we will have more of this kind of talk.
Before we go though, because this is I think what started all of this thing. I think one of the biggest woes of diasporans in dealing with us, our people back home, is this. The first one, like we said, is people only see the good, but they don't really see the struggle. When you see somebody living a good life, most of the time people who are living a good life are in a lot of debt, or they're doing a lot to be where they are. And this goes for celebrities, this goes for the people in power and all of this stuff. And also sometimes when we criticize our leaders a lot, like I said, with the indirect rule makes us only see the black part of the problem. We see it's our leaders, and then we go abroad and we say that sort of thing. Oh, these leaders are useless, and this and this and this. So like when you say, when you speak bad of your family, you speak bad of yourself. So when we say these things about our leaders, we are saying the same thing about ourselves. You can't say your brother is bad and pretend that you're the angel. Somebody is just going to say, hey, that family.
Exactly.
So we also have to examine ourselves and see what we are doing and what we can do that can make things better. So, our governments, we blame them, but we're not seeing that they are also either they are under the control of somebody else, or they're dealing with, some other things or oppositions that we might not really know, So it's a lot of things that while we can criticize, we also should understand. So, that's the first thing. And the second thing that we should do as a people is this whole begging mentality, this whole asking and expecting something, almost for nothing. This is when I say, we take advantage of each other's good nature, and sometimes we go too far with it, because like I said, everything that starts is at the top is usually at the bottom as well. So when we criticize our leaders for always asking for aid from the IMF, from this, always having their fingers out, hands outstretched, and yet we have all the resources, that's an embarrassment for us as a country. And that goes individually as well. Somebody just asking for money, if it's a tragedy and something, you can understand that, but it should be something that's done occasionally. If you have to ask for something that you're going to get back, like the parable of the three servants. You don't just get free money. Even if you get it for free, do something with it. So that's, I think, the mentality that we should have, even in dealing with each other. We shouldn't let our goodness be too good. You have to balance your goodness with some sort of a logic. You can't just be, even giving, you can't just give without discernment. If that's what you do, then you'll be left without anything to give. So even in giving things, even in sharing, you can't just give everything of yourself. Sometimes, like right now, Pastor Ezra is tired, so you have to give yourself some rest and just take a break sometimes. So also let's just be considerate with each other. Sometimes life is just, life happens to everyone, and we just have to keep going and keep going forward. So yeah. I hear the tinkling of a coffee cup.
Put it there.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to quickly get my Arabica, not the Robusta. I had to
not
go
Robusta.
to go get Arabica.
Yes.
I know all the late night people, they love Robusta.
Yes, but you choose to go the other way.
I chose to go the other way because you remember that there was a lady who was complaining and said, Robusta, why did they remove Robusta?
Yes. So because of people like you who drink that Arabica.
Today I wanted to talk, if she wants to talk, she can come and challenge me.
Yes.
I'll have my Arabica.
Yeah, Robusta. Yes. Yeah, no problem. So, what from your side of things, what is your impression on the diaspora?
My impression of the diaspora is,
your thoughts? Yeah.
For me, I mean, people will always move. Mostly, obviously, as you said, economic growth, new challenges. People sometimes they reach a ceiling in wherever they are, and that ceiling, it can even be reached even in America. You can feel that, hey, I've done everything here. I think maybe I need to go back home to do something totally different from what I was doing in America or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Or even move countries and say, no, instead of going home, I'll go to China, I'll go to Europe, whatever person feels they want to be. And I think it's also good that people are moving, going to other places to go learn trades, to apply their trades as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's only good for Africa. Yes, some people will complain and say we need the skills. I know His Excellency is passionate about people coming back home, but at the same time, people, obviously, we need them to invest more here at home with their ideas, either via businesses, because they've got leverage of getting good credit and even getting finances from those nations. I think, like, Tenza, and since you are there, you are the people that really know systems that can really make sure that there's more money coming into Africa to invest and even build capacity and build and develop other areas of our country. Because you being there, there's things that you are learning that you think, wow, if maybe Nairobi or Kisumu or Eldoret or whatever city that is out there that you
Oh, you do know
imagine
them.
something. And I remember I told I know Tezi knows that. Hey man, I know a lot of things about many countries. I'm not ignorant. I'm not one of those people who just, oh, there's this country. I read. I also watch even news networks of different countries at times when I get the opportunity to, just to see what's happening in those countries. Some countries I might not hear their indigenous languages, but if they've got an English channel, I'll probably hop into that network and just see, wow, this is what's happening, the current affairs, these are the issues. I read, I watch news, I watch other people as well who might be living in those countries, and I'm like, wow, okay, they've got this, and that's also world traveling, virtual traveling, virtually
Right.
learning
Yeah, that's
about
what I
other
was saying earlier. If you can't travel right now, travel with Mika.
Yeah, exactly, virtual travel,
Yeah, and the other question I was going to ask, what do you think right now? Because, okay, maybe we'll get to it the next time, because today we spoke about the diaspora, but we mostly spoke about the diaspora as defined by, the Africans who are in America. But, the larger diaspora is, the African Americans, who are here before. So, maybe on the next one, just to put it on the shelf, we should discuss what is the relationship, between Africa and, the wider Black diaspora, and what should our relationship be with them. Because at this point, I feel like, some of them, not all, but like I said, some of them do want to come back to the continent, and they have, these ideas. Some of them are true, some of them are not. Some of them, and they have this desire to come back to the continent. I haven't seen a lot of, African countries really, showing reciprocity, except maybe Ghana, maybe a little bit. But yeah, so maybe we can talk about that on the next one.
I think Sierra Leone is also offering even
oh yes, I had that. I had that, if you have if you show your ancestry, that they grant you citizenship. So yeah, so a few countries are starting as efforts. So I won't dismiss that. But just what's our, because one of the keys, I think, to our mutual benefit is, for me, I don't think that all Black people should move to Africa. And the reason for that is, the world right now is a global place, and it is good to have people in different areas, not just to continue getting the information, but to know, to be able to move to different places. People don't just move for the economic one is one aspect, but let's say, something happens in one place, you want to be able to move to a different place, and have options. So for me, I think that we should have, just like, the America has military bases all around the world. So we should also have like people that we can count on. If you find yourself anywhere in the world, you should be able to find, an African to help you, navigate. So, but what I look at is, in terms of logistics, we have the resources, we have the people, we have, everything that we need. And yet we do have people coming from outside, and they've been coming and benefiting from all that. But it would be good for people who are, on our side, who really do want to benefit, our country and themselves. We should make it so that it's a mutual benefit for everybody, because most of the time when people come, they just come to exploit or take, unfair deals. That's something that also, President Magufuli was very adamant about. If you're going to enter into a business contract, it should be fair for, for both sides. And somebody who respects your Africanness is more likely to give you a fairer deal than somebody who dismisses you. So there's a lot of potential, for African Americans. Like I said, here you can make money, but it will stay in the system. But if Africa gives, them options to spend the money and invest, but we have to give them a reason, to invest in Africa. We have to make Africa attractive for, those people who are looking for their heritage, for their culture, for their people back home. And for us, it will also become, not just a link to the rest of the world, because imagine if, South Africa had let's say a Texas faction, or you had a sister city in let's say in New York, where you can go back and forth and so on, and where Black Americans can also go there, and experience South Africa from an African's point of view. So I think that's something that we haven't really explored in a lot of details. Some people are starting, but there's a lot of capital here that will either remain in this country or will be can be taken to to Africa.
I think it's a great topic that you mentioned. Yeah, and from my opinion, I think Black people, wherever they may find themselves in, if they want to come and visit Africa, if they want to invest in Africa, we should make it easier for them to also rotate their money and put money here in the continent, either in building hotels or investing in hotels, residential areas, property in general, or any type of business. I'm for it, that even if they don't stay here full time, but if you live in Jamaica, you've got business, you've got money that you want to come and do business in Africa, they should really think about such that it's not just in America where you can make most of your returns. They should be looking beyond their own places. They should be thinking also Africa and say, there's many countries that I can put my money in and I'll get my returns, As you said, that not everyone will come here, and not everyone will even come here. There are those who doesn't even love, who might be of our color, but not love Africa, not have that thing, not even interest, nothing. They don't want to hear anything. It's fine. But for those who are interested, we should try to make it easy for them to invest, to come here. If they want to come and live here, they should have it easy for them to come and live here. They should be easy, just like when the Jewish, the way they welcome one another in Israel, how they try to make sure that every Jewish is well taken care of. We should also be striving to have that same attitude towards each other, to say, if you want to come here, and as governments, I think one of the things that I would wish, if I given the opportunity to be with the community that's in the diaspora, I'll tell them to group themselves and write petitions, write letters to, I don't know, maybe some might have been doing that, but I was gonna say
no, that's a good idea.
They should be doing more petitions, and write letters to the African Union and different African countries to say, hey, we are like 100 in number. Our wish is to come and invest in Africa, but is it possible that you can make favorable conditions for us as African people that have been living in America for so many years, that we want to invest in these countries, but we want special permissions or special deals that can be done for us, because other nations have those things with our countries. They've got other trade deals that they have that they've been exploiting and benefiting from. So they need to just say, we need to be coming there. We want to buy land. We want to buy property. We want to invest our money in the continent. Just excuse me. I just want to close this quickly.
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, because I think we also, just as Africans, we're also missing out on a great pool of resources. We can have the raw materials, but we need people who have the capital. And there's definitely capital here. It's just that most of the time that capital, circulates within the country, and that it's made to be that way so that you preserve your riches. You don't let your money go out. So at the same time, if let me talk about the whole tourism, because this is just economic tourism. When before the people came from outside, what were the animals doing? They were just running around. We didn't pay any attention to them. They were just there. We didn't do anything with the animals. We just let them be free. The lions can eat the hyenas however they want, or do whatever they want. But when we saw that people from outside came and they started looking at the animals, and they were fascinated by them, and they wanted to look at them, or they wanted to come and, some of them wanted to come and kill them, unfortunately. But we realized that they were fascinated by something that we had not thought of before, or that we had not really valued that much. So what did we do? We created a tourism industry out of it. We built hotels, we built, these parks and safaris and all of these things. So we marketed that because we realized that people wanted something that we had, even though, maybe we didn't value it as much. So that was that. And, most of these tourists, we know where they come from. So if some people, not all, like I said, if some people from out here see value in, African culture, if Black people see value in where they came from, and they want to go back to, their homeland and to the people who are like them or look like them, we should provide that, that opportunity for that. That's cultural tourism. The animals, that was just, regular economic tourism. So if we can make tourism out of animals, why can't we make tourism out of ourselves? And this is not selling ourselves out. This is selling ourselves, for our value, for our pride and our freedom, and saying, this is who we are. And, if this is how you value, our Africanness, then welcome, and you can do business with us, and you can do all these things. But there is already a market for it. There are people who do want to come, but firstly, they are hesitant. They don't know. Like I said, a lot of them, some of them think that, some of them don't like us, like you said, but some of them also think we don't like them. So they're saying, oh, if we come there, you guys are going to attack us, you guys are going to hate us, or you guys say, we all of that things. What?
I think sometimes some of the people, I've had such statements from other people saying that like there's some Americans who think Africans hate them, and some Africans who believe that the Americans hate them. I think sometimes we don't understand sometimes we also have different influences and different cultures. So if people think different from us, doesn't mean they hate you or they don't understand you. And I think some of the stuff, obviously, it's also media, also not showing us in a great light on each side. But I think as Black people, we should know better, especially if you're born in Africa, that we've had differences for the longest time. We've got tribal differences, we've got cultural differences, we've got so many differences, even environmental differences where you come from is different from another person in the same country, but different influences, different cultures, or even different environments where you find yourself in. It's not the same as somebody who's in Nairobi or in Mombasa or wherever,
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that we should really look at this, what makes us strong, or what are the similarities than our differences as people. And we'll never be the same, because I said the other time, it'll be boring if we were all the same, thinking alike. The way things and things, that's how I think. Ah, man, that'll be a boring life. I mean,
our conversation will just be yes, 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 yes. Yes, but brother, let's end early for today, and we'll definitely, now that you guys have started back up, hopefully, we'll do this again soon.
Yeah,
we'll have a part 2, because that other topic, that's a wide topic, and it's not just right now, because there's so many issues or things surrounding it that it's a deep dive, let me just say that. So yeah, we'll open that one for the next one. But I think that we as Africans, we really have to gather, throw our net bigger, and capture all our people around the world. They don't have to all come back, but they should know that we exist and we're here for them, and they're welcome to come back, and build our continent.
And I like how Pi is mentioning some of this stuff. I like this comment as well. And Pi was
that's why I wasn't trying to go. I wasn't trying to go into the historical aspect, but that's another, kettle of fish to open. So there's a lot in this. I just don't think we have the time today, but we definitely should, tackle a lot of things.
Exactly. But yeah, we will obviously have another long and nice proper stream where we can maybe do 3-4 hours.
Yes.
And then and talk about such things. And I think a lot of Africans can also learn what's happening out there. I think there's more that we need to find out. For those who are aspiring to leave the continent, those who aspire to look for opportunities, study, and all the other stuff, I think we'll have more people. And I think that time I'll need a Pi. I'll need you to represent the Asia there in the east, and Tenzin, you in the west. I'll love you to be here. Maybe to Niger there in the UK, or
Dr. K too. He has experience in the UK too.
He has experience, even though he's back home here in Kenya. So that would be really nice to even I think Marie Antoinette, please, I'll love you to also join us. You can also give us another perspective. I think the last time we spoke a little bit, you were in Cuba or somewhere, but somewhere in the Caribbean. It'll also be nice to hear some of the people who live in the Caribbean. Even Brother Rich from St. Kitts, he can even join us. And it would be nice to just hear them in terms of where they are, and because we're all living in different regions, and it would be nice to hear those who are in Europe, those who are in the Caribbean, those who are in America, maybe even down South America. We can hear some people there, even us who are in the continent, how's things here. And for those who want to transition here, we can tell them from our side where are the opportunities, what are the things that are needed for you to get maybe employed if you want to be employed, which businesses to look out for, and we're not saying, hey guys, send us your money, we'll set up your business for you. No, none of it. We're not going to do those things. We can give you information and we'll say, come and visit Nairobi, come and see the tech space there, come and see this, the property, all those growing markets. And I know my brother Mwendatezi in the real estate stuff, he can also share some light in there. People can learn more. And we're not going to be saying we've opened a fund for Diaspora Fund. Guys, send, we're not going to be running out. We're not going to be doing any of that stuff. And all we're going to do is just enlighten one another. The main thing is you having to come to those countries, come and visit Nairobi or visit Kenya, visit Ethiopia, visit Somalia, Eritrea, all these countries, visit them, visit Tanzania, visit Mozambique, visit Malawi, Zambia, DRC Congo, DR Congo, Congo Brazzaville, Gabon. We need to Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, man, Mali. We need
okay, now you're just showing off.
Sometimes you say one country and something like, no, I saw you guys don't like us. You don't never mention my country. My country is the name of country. And I'm just trying
mention them all.
I can't mention all the people, but I'm just mentioning the,
yes,
so that people do not feel left out.
See, today I mentioned the Central African Republic. How many times do you ever hear that?
Hardly, hardly. And it would be nice to hear somebody from there. I know most of them, they also speak French, but I'm sure there are people who can speak English. Even if they come with French, Big is there. He can translate French. He knows French. We've got a lot of people that can do that. We can even ask our brother Yusuf from Mali, who can also translate French for us.
Okay, so, yeah. Oh, wow, that would be so good. And we'll have Sister Deborah here as well. We'll just have like an international, multilingual panel, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving me ideas there, Tenzin.
And we can have somebody speaking Swahili and somebody translating. I wouldn't be able to do that because I told you, but yeah. Mika is good in Swahili. He can do that. Yeah. He can have maybe somebody speak a few sentences and he can translate. I like hearing translation because it's just interesting, how, one information goes through somebody and then, they have to quickly turn it into, a different language. And then it comes out, it's like going through the gears of the brain. And then it comes out in the way that other people can also understand. So, yeah.
Yeah, we should have that one of these days where we can have Africa a week where we can also embrace our cultures and our languages. I know His Excellency Swahili is the core. It's in the heart of what we need to build for a common language that's not tribal, that's not coming from any tribe or whatever. It's just a mixture of languages. Mm-hmm. And but we should have something like that at some point where we can embrace our African languages. Some people can come with Amharic, Swahili, any other language that's out there in Africa, any popular Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, you name them.
Yeah, we can say like one sentence and translate it into, I don't know, 20 languages.
Exactly, and say, let's see this colorful Africa we talk about, one Africa. Yeah. And Nana Dreams, she'll come from Ghana, our sister from Ghana, she'll come in here. Seniti, our sister from Eritrea, you need to come here one time and just bless us with some of, the words, even it's just a greeting,
that's what I'm saying. How do you greet in 20 languages? So that's the challenge. How many greetings can we do?
Wow. Hold that thought. You must write it down. You must write it down. We need to do that. We need to do that, Tenzin.
Absolutely. All right.
And we still have a conversation, the music conversation.
We have homework, we have assignments, we have future projects.
You've got a lot, eh?
A lot.
What's his name? Amari Zeliko. Before you go, Tamzan, Amari Zeliko. Where's Mika? Mika was here earlier. Go and watch the stream. Amari Zeliko. For more content in Ethiopia, yes. He was here. I was doing the live. He did 2 live streams today. So
I have done 3 today.
You've done 3 today,
I was there for both of them, actually. Oh. Yeah.
You see? So I'm just answering Amari Ziluka so that day.
He was here. He was here for quite a long time. Yeah, he was.
4 hours to be exact.
Yes. He worked overtime today.
Even when we were praying, he was already on amen.
I know. Just like you, a few minutes ago, I saw you too. But you got your coffee, so.
for me, I just need to stand up and then I know I can easily, yeah. But because today I didn't really sleep. To be honest with you, I haven't slept anytime in the course of the day. I've just been up, so I've took almost like 20, maybe 18 hours. Yeah.
Oh wow!
And today I'm going somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, get your rest. Get your rest.
Yeah, I'll probably get my rest later on. When I come back, around maybe depending on what time I get here. But I've been really working hard. It's been a lot, family. It's not that we've been avoiding you, or not trying to come for the live streams. I know a lot of people have missed doing the live streams, but yeah, we've had other commitments. Most of the guys that you are used to, Biggie, Prof Ezra, they're doing a lot, and Prof Ezra is also busy with his own project as well. Hopefully when it's done, he'll come and share with the family, Mr. Education.
Yes.
He'll probably come and maybe share when the project is complete, and even our brother Rich, Mr. Triangle, can't wait to see the actual platform when it's ready for launch and stuff. But everyone is doing something. That's what we need as Africans, to be busy with something in our life. Either you're doing a project, a business,
yes,
you're working, you're going to school, do something. And if there's nothing you think you can do, start a YouTube channel, start something. There's online platforms that you can make money, or even
that's what I was telling Mika to tell his fan.
Yeah.
His email fan. Tell him, look, guy, you have so much energy to be emailing me 3 times a day. If you had a YouTube channel, you could be posting 3 times a day, and sharing your information. Yeah.
Exactly.
So everybody has to do something. We can't look for one person to do everything. If you feel in your passion that I'm so passionate, I will send somebody an email 3 times a day. Wow. At breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
and you know what you're saying is very important. Like seeing those opportunities, you just enlighten some people. Some people can write. Like there's so many people you can write for, ghost write for, or even just write for them. Either emails, do their admin work. You can offer yourself and say, hey, my name is so and so, and these are my services. I'm good in writing. I write literature.
Nice. Okay, sorry. You know what? I have to take something back. I was sort of making a little bit of fun of the guy, but I shouldn't do that, because some people, they really do have certain talents, but they don't really know how to apply it. So they present their talents to somebody, and somebody might not have enough time to look at that, because maybe that's not what they're. It's like you're trying to let me say audition for somebody who's not looking for a play, But if you see the talent in this person, you say, oh, you're a really good actor, I'm not a movie director, but maybe you should go to Broadway or to Hollywood or somewhere there. So this person might have a talent for writing. He might be good at that, and he wants to share it, but he really doesn't know how to do it. And somebody might not have the time to go through all of that. So sometimes maybe you can tell somebody, you seem to be able to write a lot and put your thoughts into good words. Maybe you can write for somebody. Maybe you can pursue that. So that was a good thing you say. Make use of your talent. Even if you can't help somebody, at least you can direct them to somewhere. And just also good, because you don't just dismiss them, because for somebody to take that kind of time and effort to do that, even if they're a little bit off, they still have that passion. So yeah,
very true. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that will want those skills. Some people can be creatives, maybe technically good, but then in terms of writing, hey, it can be, we might see doctor's notes there when they start writing. Might see other things. So They need such people. Your talent is valuable, whatever, and no one, everyone in this world has a gift. God has blessed, has given everyone a gift. And never underestimate your gifts. If it's writing, don't underestimate. Don't compare a writer to a doctor or a writer to an actor. No, just write. Be the best writer. Let those who God gave the talent to act, let them act. Let those who God gave them to play sport, athletics, and all that stuff, let them be, but focus on your talent, develop your talent, develop whatever skill that God has given you, or whatever gift, and also discover your gift. And some gifts, people really dismiss them because they compare their gifts to others and they think, oh, mine is useless, mine is so small, oh, mine doesn't have money. But that's where you should be focusing on as well. And you never know where it will take you.
And sometimes also, you say discover your own gifts, but sometimes it's also good to discover or acknowledge other people's gifts. You know, like when you see, you know, somebody has taken time to write, you know, all this, you know, you can also acknowledge like, wow, you know, you put effort into that. Maybe you should go into writing. Maybe they never even thought about it. They just, you know, sat down and poured all their feelings into a keyboard, you know. So, yeah, sometimes some people discover, some people get discovered.
Exactly. Well said. You know, some people get discovered, you know, and others have to really go out there and do it. So as African youth, as African people, as African Africans, we need to, or as people in general, let us all try to build ourselves. Let's all try to develop ourselves, because it all starts with us
and each other.
And yeah, you know, so let's do that. Let's share knowledge. Let's also build one another, and let's hold each other up, and let's make sure that our future, the future generation that's coming, they will not blame us and say, hey, these old people, we are here because of them. We are here because of them. There's this problem because of these old people. You know, let us try to fix a lot for ourselves and our generation that's coming, our kids, you know, and our kids, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't just end with the one generation.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's why old people will say, you know, sometimes, I don't know if growing up from your side, whereby you get some old people will say, you know, I was once your age. So meaning
Yes.
So our time will also come when we need to answer the young people who say, yeah, 20 years ago, what were you guys doing? And we're like,
absolutely.
we're
And you know what?
We
won't have really an excuse, because we have, you know, all this information at our disposal. You know, the old people, for us, we blame them. You know, they cannot still say, oh, we didn't know. For us, that's not an excuse for us. We'll have to come up with something better if we don't succeed.
Exactly. Imagine that the tools that we have at the moment, the technology that's at our disposal, and if you look how we are spending some of our time in technology or other things, we are not really utilizing them to make something out of ourselves or helping ourselves to get ahead. You know, those are the things that if we don't fix right now, they will catch up with us in the future.
Absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes, you know, things are bad. Sometimes, you know, there's a glimmer of hope. For me, the glimmer of hope, even though sometimes people say, oh, well, you know, all we do is talk and no action. But even the fact that we are talking and not doing something else, that's also, you know, a testament to a little bit of a move forward. Because this 2 hours, 3 hours, I was on 3 today, but all this time, this is enough time. We could have watched a movie with the music and sounds and acting and, you know, excitement and all of that stuff, and we spent it just, you know, moving our lips and making sound, you know. So this to me is something that, you know, a lot of people are realizing that, yeah, you know, talking is not the end of it, but it's the beginning. You know, for people who just say all you do is talk, well, you have to talk first and build second. Yeah.
And also it's awareness. I mean, everything needs information. Who will pass that information if people are not talking?
Yeah, yeah, very true. You know, and some of us don't like to talk. People think that I like to talk. I don't, you know, but it's just something, especially when it came to, you know, to how a lot of people were talking about saying things about Africans, or saying things, you know, representing us, you know, saying all these things. It's just at one point I said, okay, well, let me say something about it, just so some people will know, not, you know, not everybody, but they will know that, you know, we are not the things that are shown, you know, in the media, on television, all these things. You know, we actually people who care about ourselves, our people, and, you know, we care about a lot of people, you know, even people who are different from us. We're just a very loving people, and it's unfortunate that a lot of people have taken that as a weakness and, you know, taken advantage of that. But we first should stop that amongst our own people. You were saying, you know, somebody is still, you know, sleeping at their mother's house and not doing anything. That's the first thing that we should do. We should first deal with the people who are amongst us who are taking advantage of us, of our kindness and hospitality. Oh, when you were gone, I was talking about the whole Mgeni. When Mundatezi comes next asking about the Mgeni Siku ya Kwanza song, it's about a guest. You're given hospitality for the first days. After that, you have to start work. So yes.
Very important, very important. I think if we can instill that culture, as you said, like where we can really instill it amongst ourselves, that the culture of work, whether like work, sometimes I think people, we tend to maybe formalize it in terms of having to wake up, go to an office, or go to a company, but you can be your own work, you can be your own boss, you can be your own thing, you can start your own thing. That's work. I mean, this life, even the rich people are working. So there's no way that one can avoid it and say, I'm just gonna live in this world. Other people must sweat, and you know, there's no such. Everybody has to play their role on this earth.
Exactly. And just to not make it too long, but you know, in terms of self-definition, I always go back to Eritrea on this, because, you know, don't define yourself by your adversaries' terms. Don't define yourself by what they consider good and rich and beautiful and all that. You're supposed to have that definition and ideal for yourself, you know, and work towards it. So if what we want is to be, you know, independent, is to be, you know, who we are and so on, then that's how we have to define it. We have to define independence as doing for yourself, as being, you know, somebody who helps in the community and not just, you know, an eater, let's just say that. So however people define us, we have to be at the forefront and say, no, this is how we see it and this is who we are.
Exactly.
So when it comes to work, you know, we don't always have to define work as, you know, paid salaried employment. This is one of, we don't always have to define success as, you know, having a good job. This is what also limits us in terms of business, because for us, our only, you know, definition of success is going to school, getting a good job, working at that job for years and years, retiring and having a pension. You know, well, that's one way, you know, of being successful, but there are other ways as well. You know, you could go start a business, you could go travel and, you know, be a consultant. You could be an independent creator. You could be, you know, there's so many things that we limit ourselves by just defining things in one way, success or career in one way. So, you know, definitions also matters. And I think that's one area also that we have to start, you know, having that control. So, yeah.
I think just to add something on what you said about the success way, I think many of the examples that we've seen, there were through schools, through education system, like, oh, did you see so-and-so? Did you see your big brother? He went and did 1, 2, 3. He's now working a nice job. He has a car. He's about to get married. You know, like those things, I think, as you say, they've channeled us to just think, wow, okay, which means I need to go to the best university for me to get this type of work, to get this type of opportunity, and then once I get that job, that's now I'm successful. This is how the community should respect me and stuff. But that's not the case. That shouldn't be the case where success is only defined in that way, you know?
Yeah. And you know, not to say that is, you know, not the definition. It's just one of the definitions. We have to also expand, and that's why I always say, you know, travel. And travel is not just, you know, you don't have to leave your home right now. That's why I say we have no excuse. Even if we say, oh, we couldn't travel, we have all the information. If you want to travel to Thailand right now, all you have to do is, you know, type in a few letters and there you are, you know. So that's not also an excuse. We don't have the excuse of ignorance. We don't have the excuse of, you know, not being able to move around, even though physically we can't, but virtually we really are unlimited at this time, you know, in our history, in terms of knowledge and information. We don't, and that's another thing that we shouldn't take for granted as well. We don't know how long this freedom is going to last, because everything that we're getting is coming from somebody else. They could, you know, take it all away, you know, whenever they want, you know, even if they put, let's just say, even not even take it away. Let's just say right now that this company that we're using right now just made all their services, you know, everybody had to pay $1. How many people would leave it right now? Just $1. Half of the people would be gone. You know, people don't want to pay.
Hey, you start hearing stories, eh?
Hey.
Talk money to Africans. You start saying,
hey, yeah,
hey,
hey.
These people now. Hey.
Now these people.
Yeah. I saw this, you know, people start becoming all like they've seen all these things. I saw this from long time, you know. I saw this, you know, I saw when Nika started bringing a pasta. I just saw it.
Yeah, so, you know, people don't want to pay for things, and so we get things for free, but at the same time we don't see that free things can be taken away, you know. What they give, they can also take. So now that we can do this, let us do this and take advantage and take all we can from it. You shouldn't be on this site just, you know, watching videos of cats jumping around, you know, as strings, you know, that some people do that. That's all they do. They come, you know, just to watch silliness and pass the time. But if this is the time that, if this thing went off right now, I just joined, you know, the WhatsApp, so I can't be, you know, bragging too hard. But that's another way, you know, of connecting, and I'll find one of you one way or another. So all I'm saying is that, you know, right now we have the tools at our disposal. You know, we have the people, the networks, the places. We have, even when it comes to it, some people might not even know where to start, but, you know, get some ideas. You can come get ideas, have, you know, people you talk to or listen to, and so on. So I think we're starting, and we're going to go far, you know, as long as we are committed and disciplined.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, Tenzin, nothing is free in this world. Somebody has to pay the price. I mean, even such a platform that we are in now, that we are using for these streams, there's subscription fee that gets paid every month. For those who might not know, for us to get people obviously to join the stream via the YouTube platform, it's money that needs to be paid. So for some people might think, man, this is just for free. You just go and create a YouTube channel, and then. But if you want to expand and do so many things, there are things that your YouTube on its own cannot offer. But you need other platforms. Like this platform is not. It's another platform that we are using to connect through the YouTube channel, for example. So, and it's money. It's a subscription. So hence, when you join the membership, when you join the Patreon, those are the things, those finances are helping us to go live like this, to get people to join the live streams, and also make sure that the channel keeps growing, and there's data, there's power, there's travels, all these things is money. It's not just free lunch. Everything is just, yeah. That's why Look at how many YouTubers cannot go anywhere. They're just in their countries. They will want to travel. They'll want to see more countries, but they
And not
can't.
only the cost of the direct costs, like I say, you always look at the direct and the indirect. The indirect, the opportunity cost, is the time that you're spending, not just in preparation but during and then afterwards. I know that for the live videos I don't know how much, but I know that for the videos that Mika does, you have to do some editing, you have to do cutting and all that stuff. So even that sacrifice of time, that's a big thing. It's we definitely should support each other and not just like you said, nothing is free. Nothing just costs $0, and even if it's free, there are always hidden costs. So yeah, in terms of both time, opportunity costs, and actual costs, yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
And I must say, family, like in terms of production stuff, they don't come cheap. Cameras, like a lot of things. If you want to, like for example, I know I haven't told His Excellency about this, but to the family out there, like if you guys have anything that you wanna support the channel in, your first thing that you can do for us is subscribe to the channel. That's one of the ways that you can support us. Like every video that we upload, like, share it with friends. That's also support, And if you want to support financially, can join the YouTube membership or even the Patreon, and then you'll also have a special deal, but that will help the channel to grow, and we can also improve on our quality as a channel. The more support we get, that's the more we can buy resources. We can make sure that the channel grows. So like any way that you can push this movement, please do that. Join the YouTube membership or even the Patreon, and then whatever you can. We're not forcing you to say, yo, subscribe, or join the membership for this much. But I'm praying that we'll start seeing like $100, $200 so that we can buy equipment. I know I didn't tell His Excellency about this, but we need to buy equipment. We need to beef up our production and make it better in terms of quality instead of quality and content. There's a lot of things that His Excellency wants to do, but technology-wise, some of the stuff he might not have the resources to do them. Some of the things he might want to, like for example, some of the places that he went to, Tanzania, maybe he wanted to do some drone shots, but because we don't have a drone at the moment, we can't do such. But if you know that maybe you work with drones, you want to donate, feel free to contact us, oneafricofficial@gmail.com.
Maybe, and this is just a suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we're having the 24-hour one. That's also one of the ones that are planned. Oh, we have so many projects, but maybe on another one, just in the future or sometime, maybe we can have also like a fund drive, something like that. We can, you guys can come up with what is needed, how much. We can set a goal and just say, today, save this date, we're going to do everything. And then it can be like a continuous thing. Like we can, do it like every weekly or something. Just like you remember that whole subscriber count up, not countdown, but count up. Yeah. So, maybe we can do something like that, just once in a while and so on, because people do take things for granted sometimes, not just, in a mean, on a selfish way, but sometimes it's just, because they don't know or they're not fully aware or, and like I always say, just life. But calling attention to those things is also important so that people can also know how to support. When you talk about supporting people, I said earlier that most people don't really know even where to start. The problem sometimes is so big, it's like a mountain, and how are you going to eat your way out of a mountain? So sometimes, it's just good to start small. Let's just say, okay, we're going to help, Swahili Nation get a camera for the next project. That's doable. That's something that, we can contribute. People can bring in ideas and so on and so forth. And then we can just start with that. That's supporting a fellow African. And then, we can go on to small projects. Maybe we want to build a classroom, or we want to help local kids and so on. So we can start, just things like that, small things, and start somewhere. When people have a goal, the best example I would say of that is, the Ethiopian dam. You remember how, they mobilized the entire country. How we think some things are impossible because when you say it, it just sounds like it can't be done. Like, oh, let's just say somebody comes to your country and says, oh, well, South Africa should just tell South Africans to, pay for healthcare. And then people say, no, that's impossible. And nobody has ever tried. You think somebody would tell the Ethiopians, oh, Ethiopians should just tell Ethiopians to pay for the dam. People would have said, hey, Ethiopia has no money. The people are suffering all of these things, and given all this, they won't contribute. People already have enough problems. Who will care about a dam? People will come up with all kinds of, and some of them are logical reasons, and they'll tell you all the reasons why it can't be done. But they went ahead and did it, and they didn't force anybody. They didn't put a gun to anybody's head, and they just said, if you want to do this, let us do this. And they did it. So, that's what tells you it can be done. So, having a goal, if they just told people, oh, support Ethiopia, how do I do that? Yeah, just support it. That's too nebulous. You have to tell people, you have to have a goal and it's achieved and you see it, especially when you see it. Like I said, let's judge by results, not just by words. And not that words are not important, but if those words are not followed by results, or you can't see something coming out of it, then that is the time that you can say, oh, well, I gave it a chance. But if we have a goal, we're working towards something, even if it takes a year, let's start somewhere. Even if the camera is so expensive, it will take you 5 years to get it, but the money is not going to go down. You'll just see, going up a little bit until finally you get it. But, it's there. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. But in the coming maybe weeks or so, I know I haven't spoken to His Excellency, but let's do that. Let's take the channel to another level, family. Let's support the channel. Let's support the movement, and it'll really help us. Let's make sure that this year, we have good quality content, good microphones. I'm sure there's people who love to hear us, good stuff. They love to see good sound. They'll love to see good content in terms of quality, in terms of how things are shot and everything. So, family, please put that in your mind. Pray about it. Have time somewhere to think about it, how you can help the channel to grow, how to make this channel, we can move it from this level to another, better quality content, better quantity as well. We're not just doing quality, but quality that comes with quantity, whereby we'll have a lot of content that will come in, but with the proper resources, we can really do even better than what we're doing. So put that in mind, save up something for us that we can do for the whole family, because this is not going to be something that is for us. That's why I'm saying, if you have a resource that maybe you work at Kodak or Nikon or something, and you work with cameras and you feel that, hey, Swahili Nation, I'd love to partner with you. I would love to become go in partnership with you guys. Contact us, oneafrica official@gmail.com, and then you can even come publicly. You can come public and say, on behalf of XY company, this is our donation, whatever. But let's talk about it, and then in the coming weeks and stuff, maybe we're gonna have something like that, where anything that you feel, some people do not need to take out money. You can actually just go and get the resources and say, hey, I work with this, here's my contribution, or I know somebody you can maybe you can link up with them and we can have a conversation with them,
Absolutely.
So let's all work together, family.
Yeah. So, all right. 3 streams in one day is just about as much as I can take.
Yeah. Tenzin.
And
No,
I'm not even
Tenzin,
a
you know what,
professional.
Tenzin?
You know, you guys are professional experts.
No, Tenzin, we are practicing. We are practicing for the 24 hours, and I see Big is here. I'm just gonna allow him to quickly come in, and then we're gonna say shalom because we're about to leave. Yeah, we practicing Tenzin. For those who be like when the Tezis, the other guys, will see them
in action.
doing this. Like, we'll start seeing things, you know.
Yes. Even the coffee won't work after a while.
You know,
I don't see him though. I thought he said he was coming on.
No, I just send him the link. I send him the link now. Remember, we didn't really plan this. We were on our feet when we decided to build this.
I kept getting roped into it because you guys have been gone for so long. I wasn't expecting one today. So I see Mika online. I'm like, I have to. Okay. And then and then he goes on again after 2 hours. I'm like, oh, Mika, you're doing too much. And then like, okay. Hello, brother Ezra.
Yeah,
Biggie. Oh, Biggie.
Yes, Sons, and how are you guys?
Very good, thank you.
How are you guys doing? I just happened to catch up on some of the video. I just came in from. I just lost a nephew, young, and it's just I'm catching the late night. I just want to encourage everybody to pray one another, to help one another, and I just sent out a message that I've seen. And I put it on the comment chat. And basically, I just saw it yesterday, and it says, basically, I took it from another part of London, Poland. Far too many people died for no good reason. There are those who will say that have not happened if we would mind our own business. But nothing could be further from the truth. Frankly, we live in a dangerous world and we have few good options. The worst option is to do nothing about it. Exactly what the situation is all over Africa. And finally, we owe it to our children and their children to engage in the world. Xavier bless you all. And that really had me thinking, what kind of world we're living and what kind of path we need to take, because there's so many disinformation, there's so many conflicting ideas, and the world is not coming down it's not calming down, okay, put it that way. We have one unity, one Africa that we're trying to put together. It's not attacking through political situations, through different things, but I just see this world is eating itself up and is hitting up through media. People are hurting one another just by throwing words. And in the past, leadership is being criticized, like you said, Israel. Yes, leadership, without any mistake, they won't learn. They will make mistakes. They are meant to it, and how to compromise and how to really come ahead and not to make that same mistake again, and teach us those things. These are the things that our children needs, because they follow in our footsteps as being the older brothers and sisters. So I think this world, we need to pray more. I mean, there's nothing like prayers. And when I say prayers, you have to be really having your mind and your emotion together on what we need to accomplish. The main thing is peace on earth. I think the main thing is peace on earth. All the division that's going, all the things that we see now, really we don't have any peace in the world. So we need to pray for peace, and that will achieve also the one Africa. One Africa becomes peaceful. because now globally we're seeing so many things, so many disinformation, and people are getting scared. There are so many warmongers that they're putting words out there. This is the end. This is the thing. I mean, pray. If this is the end, it's up to the Creator that created us will make it end. Even Jesus Christ said he doesn't even know the day that the world is going to end. But people are making it sound like the old, complete, destroyed world. So again, I came in to tell everybody to pray prayers or your intention, your emotion, what you want to achieve for peace and love. Promote that, see that vision. It won't hurt. It doesn't hurt nobody to really have their mind and emotion for peace on earth. Our world is shaking and we need to pray more. That's why I joined. I know I came in late night and I just came in 2 losses in one family. It's just too much to hold. But again, we're the one that we are alive. That's why I come a little bit strong that we need peace. We need peace on earth. He created it to be peaceful. It's just us, not paying attention to all the holes we're doing, all the mistakes that we're doing. And let's learn from our mistakes. But let's pray for the peace of the world and the love for one another. Our dearest brothers, African sisters, believe me, we need to hold, and believe me, our prayer can be heard. And thank you guys for all the condolences. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I joined the chat to, informally expressing our condolences. I pray for that, for your strength and, during this time. And I know it's not an easy time, but we're with you, and we do feel your pain, but we know that you also, you have the strength. So
yes, thank you. Really, I need all the prayers that you guys can pray. Appreciate that. To support the family, the support of the family is important, and you're my family. So.
Absolutely, and also, thank you for your contributions and your thoughts, and you always bring calmness and a sense of serenity to the chat. I know sometimes we do go off, but whenever it's like the voice of reason. So
thank you, appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Because it comes from the heart. It comes from a deepest understanding. I try to understand where the synchronization comes for all of us. We're all synchronized. My family, I have no doubt. That we are synchronous. We have different ideas, different opinions, but we are one. I already feel that. That's why this energy, this power that comes through Xavier here, that I pass on to all of you, because I am part of you. We're all part of each other, and that's why we're strong. Look at us. We've been doing so many things, and look at what Mika is doing. Look at what we achieved. I mean, it's a lot of things that's happening. It's just unbelievable, and that makes me understand our brothers and sisters and how we feel around the world. And my family, I'm so proud of you. Keep up the support each other. Let's support each other. That gives us really the strength to where we want to accomplish our One Africa, our unity. That keeps us stronger and stronger. Believe me, every time we talk, every time we discuss, every time we put that in front of us, we put the Xavier first. He's going to be leading us to the path. And when we show him what we need to achieve, we will achieve one thing at a time. But sometimes it can be multiple things simultaneously that's going to happen. Brace yourself for that. Everybody, brace yourself for that. When certain things start happening, brace yourself. We're going to be going forward. We're not going backward. We're working. Everybody's working in their heart, in their mind. I appreciate that. I can feel everybody. And I thank you so much again for the condolences. And I'll pass it on to the family.
Thank you, Biggie.
Biggie, but phew, our sincere condolences to your family. We pray for God's strength, and comfort during this time. We pray that in all this, be comforted, that the Lord is with you, and the Lord is in charge and is in control of the situation. And as you move forward, may there be comfort, may there be peace during this storm.
Amen. Amen, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Yes.
As you said from your words, something that the Lord has laid in your heart that we need to pray. I'm just going to ask you, I can pray maybe since you are going through all this. But if you feel that you want to pray, we can pray, and then I'll just quickly close as well after you pray, Biggie.
Man, I pray to the deepest peace on earth. We need peace. We really need peace. We're getting torn apart, left and right, on bad news after bad news, disinformation after disinformation. I know those of us that are really going through stuff. Now, I want to remind also Marie Antoinette, the those people that they pray, that we pray for them, and keeping in mind, really my mission this week and coming week. This is Lent for us, and this is a fasting time, and we need to pray for peace, a general peace on earth. That's how we can bring peace. Then we can really negotiate other things when peace comes. So we need our, with all this disinformation that is going, my Lord, I need you to help us to go through this and bring peace. We are really the sinners. We really hurt one another, and forgive us so we won't hurt one another. Please let peace reign. Let's give peace a chance for all of us, because we're getting torn left and right. I really thank you, my Lord, for giving us this day to be able to pray among my brothers and my sisters here on earth, the way your will be done. We appreciate you. We'll always thank you. We'll always receive your blessings. And I pray again, my Lord, for the forgiveness of humanity and bring peace to us. We just need your peace and love. Shower us with your peace and love, my Lord. Bless us with your peace. Bless us with your love. Because now and ever, you're always going to be the one that created us, my Lord. We always love you. And please, really, really make the peace reign on us, so we can have a rest, so we can have a clarity, we can have a good view on your creation. Give us that heart. Give us the strength. I pray, my Lord. And I pray again, my Lord, in front of my brother and my sisters, for my family to cope with what's happening in our life. And for both of them that passed, may God bless his soul. May let them rest in peace. Amen. And Israel can do it.
Amen. Wow. Thank you, Biggie.
Thank you.
Just gonna just close with the declaration, since Biggie has already prayed. for everything. May we all find strength, Heavenly Father, in whatever we do. We pray for strength. We declare strength. We declare peace. We declare joy. And we declare your direction, your intervention in all that we do. Until we meet again, protect us and be with us. Guide us, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Israel. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you all. It's been an honor and a pleasure and an inspiration. So thank you. We will meet again.
Thank you, Tanzan. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Tanzan.
Marie Antoinette, I can see you on the chat. You're always in my heart, in my prayer. And I hope you got all the strength. Keep on fighting a good fight.
Yes.
I really concentrate on you, Mary Antoinette. And as well, Kaku. Kaku is coming along. Doing well. And you're not big. But at the same time, Mary Antoinette, I really want to, I really have the prayer, receive that prayer from me to you. And from the family, we love you.
Thank you.
Kuku, the same thing. And Dr. Zadeka, we pray for you too. Be strong, Mary Antoinette. Let's all look forward to a peaceful world for this coming week. Let's all pray for peace on earth. We need peace.
Wow. Sure. Let's all then meet again today. I think His Excellency will be setting up a stream, or I might be coming in later on to today. It's already morning for some of us here in Africa, and I know Biggie and Tenzin guys are in the state. You guys can go sleep while we go make some bread now.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was looking at the previous video, and I don't know this was live, and I just happened to click on it. I had this message, and I said, "Oh, I missed it," but the situation. But I just got this opportunity to pass on the peace information that we need to pray for peace. And that's why I just said, you know what, I have to be on it. And the message is clear. This is not about Africa. This is not just about America or the West, East, name it. But this is about peace. I mean, we're not getting no peace. Everybody's been pulled left and right with all this disinformation and all this confusion, all the hunger. People are getting hungry. There's no food. Without peace, we are all interconnected. So I think I really felt this so deeply that we really, 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 really need the peace. We've got to fight for the peace on earth. The whole earth. People are not having that peace of mind. This is not an easy time, easy moment. I'm looking at it, I'm feeling it. And I think that's the first thing we've got to pray, the peace on earth. That peace will come no matter what, if you really concentrate on it. And the love flourish in peace. On disinformation and confusion and things that I really don't like. It's like the word I always said for all of you not to use is confusion and hatred. So let's give peace a chance. I think this is the fighting word. First, let the peace reign across Xavier creation. Then really we'll have a true move on what we want to do in our true lives, as long as we think peace. So the message from me to you all is pray for peace on earth.
We'll definitely do that. Biggie. As you've heard, Biggie, that's something that the Lord has laid in his heart that we should be praying for peace. So that's our task, to pray for peace and stability in all our countries, in all over the world, and even peace within ourselves, to find peace in all that we do and peace in everything that we do. So, but Biggie, we're gonna have a nice stream. I just pray that you gain some strength. I'll probably give you a call. That will be tomorrow for you, but later on for me.
Right.
In the course of the day, I'll probably call you later here in Africa. It'll be at least midday for you instead.
Okay.
I'll give you a private call.
Okay. Okay.
And thank you, family. Thank you, Tanzan. Thank you, Biggie. For now, I'm just gonna say shalom to our viewers. Yeah, family, please do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like, share this stream. And then another thing, do not forget to pray for peace. That's the highlight of tonight's show. Do not forget to pray for peace.
Yeah.
Until we meet again, God bless you. God be with you in whatever endeavors that you are busy with, whatever you're doing. And until we meet again, let's all come back in one piece.
Peace, one Africa in our generation.
Yes. Peace
Yes.
for Africa. Peace for Africa.
Peace. Peace for one Africa.
Yep.
No.
Peace for Africa. Definitely.
Okay.
That's where we can start. That's our base.
Yes.
Pray for one another. Take care of each other. Love one another. Respect each other. That's how we're going to get peace. Out of peace, we get love.
Absolutely. All right. Peace.
Nana Dream said it's 11:49, so I guess she's in the same timeline as me.
Eastern time.
Well, I see how many people miss this. Now we were supposed to do an hour. We are out here 3 hours later. So thank you both so much. This has been, just illuminating, wonderful. And it's always good to spend time with family. So, yeah, family
Definitely.
from all around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So I wish you and everybody else in the chat, a good day or night. And thank you all for making good use of your time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Peace and thank you.
So the message is peace. Remember peace. Just my message tonight is pray for peace. I love you all. Thank you so much. All right, is there